welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Ibidunni Osho and I'm a media personality and creative currently based in Lagos, Nigeria. And in today's video, we are going to be installing this unit on my head. Listen, okay? Installing this hair was very chaotic. It took me a lot of willpower to not give up midway. But I do love the outcome. I love how this hair looks on me. I love that it's a new look. It's giving what it's supposed to give, okay? So if you want to know how I got here, let's get right into the video. Babes, voiceover EB here. So what I'm doing right now is plucking the frontal of the bob. As you can see, I already sectioned out a line, what I will refer to as like the first line of the frontal itself. So I've just done that in order to be able to pluck the hair to sort of give it a echoed natural feel, a natural fade into my scalp. So what I do is I sprayed it with water, some water, and then I tweeze, and then when I'm done tweezing, I comb out what I've tweezed away, and this is what it's actually looking like right now. So this is what a side that I have plucked looks like, right? It gives that very nice, almost very natural feel, fade compared to this part that I am yet to tweeze a bit more. So that's essentially the use of me tweezing the frontal. I'm just trying to give it a supposedly natural, look, so that it's not looking too full at the front. So I'm just going in and tweezing more and more and more to make sure that the the fadedness is general and even in a way. I hope you get what I mean. So that some sides are not looking too faded while some sides are looking thick. Now it's time to straighten the hair. As you can see, I already sectioned off the hair and I'm going to be starting with the back. So I'm going to be straightening in a bob angle. So this is me just combing out the back so that I can start the straightening. So what I do is I comb and then I straighten. I comb and then I straighten. So this is my Pretext straightener that I'm using. It is so flipping hot, but I broke it a few days ago. So just in case you want to replace my straightener, I am taking funds, okay? So this is just me straightening out the hair. I mean, I'm done halfway by here already, and this is just me combing it out and straightening. And this is actually a part of the frontal already, but I'm also straightening it in this direction because I'm trying to do a C-cut with the frontal by the time I style it. So it just made sense to also straighten the frontal in the direction of the bob that I want to style it. So as you can see, I'm trying to adopt the combing and straightening method, and it wasn't the easiest, I must confess, but I got a wind of it. I got how to go about it, and it made things a lot easier and smoother for me. So this is just me straightening all the hair that I had straightened earlier together so that it has like a blend, so that it's not too different, that I straightened one and then I straightened the others on top of it. So this is just what the hair is looking like now. Look at this luscious girl. Oh, so luscious. All right, so now that I'm getting to the top of the frontal, what I'm now doing is I'm using my hair wax and a hot comb, to straighten this part so that I make sure that the frontal is flat. Because like I said, I'm trying to get a C-cut, so I'm trying to make sure that the side that will be styled as the C-cut is not too swollen, on one side of my head by the time I'm ready to install the hair. So this is what the full hair looks like by the time I'm done straightening and hot combing and tweezing and doing everything that needed to be done, that I felt needed to be done to make sure that it's in a good condition before I place it on my head, because I am not team straighten hair on your head or curl hair on your head. I do not like it for anything. I do not want to be burnt, so I don't bother doing it at all. I'd rather do it on my mannequin head and then, you know, finish off what's left on my scalp. So that's what we're doing with this hair. Now let's go back into me, you know, talking Ibidunni, and yeah, let's just go into installing the wig now. Listen, it was a long process, okay, but I promise you'd enjoy it. All right, let's go.
Hi babes. So one thing I didn't mention in the voiceover is that the wig is actually made like a 360 frontal. So what I mean by that is you can see that from here to here to here, right? It's the frontal, but then behind it there's still a net, right? So if I were to actually want to fully install this as a 360 frontal, it's literally just the edges here, right, that does not have net. But I think it would still pass as a 360 if I wanted. However, you know, because the back has already been cut short, I don't think it would have the full form of a 360 frontal. To be very honest, I feel like if I wanted to wear this hair like as a glueless wig, I still could, you know, but because it's not yet properly cut right now, I don't think it would look great. But right now, I think it actually looks, you know, pretty decent as just like an all back type bob hair. So we're just going to go straight into the installation now. We're actually going to be going back into voiceover Ibidunni from here. So let's just go straight into the installation.
Welcome back. So the glue I'm going to be using for this is the Ghost Bond XL glue. But before I go into that, I'm going to be gluing down what's left of the edges of my natural hair, because I'm trying to save my natural hair, okay? But I also wanted to install this frontal, and what I have on right now is a center part, so it's the perfect, you know, weaving to have under this frontal that I'm about to install. So I'm just making sure to brush down the edges before I go in with my Ghost Bond glue. So I'm just also drying down what I have, the edges that I have smoothing down, so that I'm very sure that it's dry and it's not going to keep on coming forward under the wig. So let's give the Ghost Bond a little shake, well, more like a vigorous shake, and then we're going to apply in dots on, you know, the part of my head where I want to install the hair. As you can see, I have a lot of real estate of my head, okay? I have a lot of real estate on my head, my forehead, so I had the grace to be able to move the frontal forward. But of course, if you're doing this for yourself, you have to make sure that you're putting the glue at the exact spot that you want your frontal to be, and you have to also, you can also try this out, you know, when you're installing, like before you put your glue on your head, just try out your frontal, see where you want to place it so that you're able to put your glue at the right spot. So after putting the glue in dots, now I'm just making sure to spread it out to the parts of my head where I do not have any hair, right? So I'm just using this end of my tail comb to spread out the glue on the left side and also on the right side. I'm literally just doing this through my whole forehead because this is a full frontal. Now it's time to dry the glue. This glue dries out clear, so I'm just using this hand dryer to make sure that it dries down, and it dries down fast because I don't have time. So as you can see, it's drying down clear already. Naturally, some people would apply a second layer of glue at this point, but I didn't bother because I needed this for just a day, you know, the day after this installation, so it was just perfect to have just one coat of the glue on. Now it's time to place the frontal, and this is where I had a little bit of issue, and that was because the frontal itself, right, when I kept on pulling it forward, it kept on going backwards. So at this point I had to drop my mirror because obviously I was using one hand to fix the frontal, as you can see, and I was using the other hand to hold my mirror. So I had to just go off the camera and put the mirror down, turned my face, and I fixed on the frontal, at least on this first side, you know, and then I'm just making sure to pat it down, put a little spritz of a spray, the got to be spray, and then just making sure to pat down parts of the frontal that are yet to be glued down. I'd say that it was at this point when I started using the comb that I wished I had gotten a metal comb, at this point, because this would have made it way easier for me to lay this frontal. If you see me talking, I'm on the phone with a friend because I really needed a distraction while I was getting this frontal laid, because listen, okay, it stressed me and I was quarter to just dropping it and yanking it off my head and saying, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. But I had a mission, okay, I had a look I was going for, and your girl just had to see it to the end. So as you can see, it's coming together little by little. Took a lot of patience, took a lot of smart work, but we got there. And now it's time for me to dry it a bit more, to dry down the glue a bit more before I use my headband to tie the frontal down and melt the lace. All right, so now we're tying down the lace, and can you see our hair is full slit to the back, and right here I'm just cutting my C cut. I'm trying to make space for the C, trying to make sure that it's neat and it's clearly done, because obviously I'm doing it by myself. I know I look weird, right? Because I'm looking at the camera and I'm also trying to look at the mirror on top of the camera. I was able to place my mirror on top of my camera. So after cutting out the C cut, I'm going in with my wax stick to pat down the part of the C cut of the wig, that is, heightened. That's the word. That is swollen. Yeah, that's the word. So I'm just using the wax stick to tame it down, and then I'll go in with my hot comb to also now make sure everything is properly laid and no hair is straight and nothing is swollen, in part of the frontal. So you want to make sure to just keep on combing your hair in the direction in which you're trying to lay it. As you can see here, I'm trying to create that swollen C-cut effect, so I had to be extra careful because this hot comb was so hot already at this time, so this is just me combing it out, over and over again, trying to make sure that I got it, looking at my mirror like a gazillion times, because this was my first time, right? And I had to make sure to make it really good, and I was so happy, with the way it was going already. So I decided to increase or deepen the effect of the C-cut by using my foundation. I used the Revlon Color Stay foundation in 440, so I'm just going to be going with a pump, not even up to a pump, but essentially just a little part of that into the part of the C cut that I already cut to just make it more defined. I'm sure you're used to this already, so I'm essentially just doing that to make sure that the C cut is more defined. Now that the hair is glued and dried down, I'm loosening the band, and as you can see, this is what it's looking like straight from the band being loosened. So now I'm just going in with my beauty blender that I used to do my makeup, and I'm just using it to blend in the parts of the foundation, essentially the harsh lines between the wig net and my forehead. And then I'm going back in with my powder and just a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm just using that to blend in the whole thing. And as you can see, I'm gonna ask you, what lace is, because I can't see any lace. Okay, like, I am doing such a good job with blending this frontal. I'm so impressed. Like, obviously I know I did the job right, but just watching it again and seeing how very nicely I'm blending it, it has me, impressed by myself. So I'm just combing this. See, I combed this side of the hair like 5 million times. I just wanted to make sure that it was slipping, and I definitely did get that done. And I'm just going over, the part of the back of my head, and then the side that is the C-cut, just making sure to define everything clearly. So now it's time to do something that is supposed to give the effect of baby hairs, right? This was my very first time ever doing baby hairs, so I had to make sure that it wasn't something too elaborate or bogus. I just decided to cut a part of the front of the hair, and this is me first checking it out, okay, trying to make sure that I have an idea of what I want to do before I go and do rubbish. And I liked what I saw, right? So I decided to just cut off, the comb it out first, and then just cut it off so that I can be able to, yeah, that's the hair gone. Oh my gosh, I was so scared at this point there, I'm not even gonna lie. but because I already cut the hair, so I might as well just go ahead and do it. So I'm just going in with some edge glue. So I'm just using this to please tell me why my mouth is like one-sided. I'm such a Yoruba girl. Anyway, so I'm just going in with the comb side of the edge brush, and the brush side I'm going in over and over again to just make sure that it is neat and nicely done, that it doesn't look tacky, because I can't stand seeing tacky baby hairs on people, right? So I of all people should not have it either. So as I went in with the brush, I'm going back in with my fingers, to just make sure that it's very nicely laid, and voila. I also did the edge of my scalp, the one that is close to my ear. Just did like a little thing, Listen, this one is still long, but please just take it as I was scared and I don't want to do rubbish. So I just decided to leave it as long as that pay work. I cannot kill myself, But it was a nerve-wracking experience, because obviously, like hair, if you cut hair, that's it. You can't fix it back. But I did enjoy trying to do this by myself. Maybe next time, I'll go to a salon. But this was very, very fun. So let's go back to the full video now.
Wow, we have finally come to the end of this installation. Let me tell you, okay, this hair took a lot from me. It was very chaotic. At a point when I started installing it, I just had to face this mirror behind me because I wanted to make sure that it came out well, and I love how it came out. I feel like I'm going to need some getting used to the baby hair over here, but I don't mind it. I actually really like the look. It's new, it's nice. I'm finally going to find how to get this guy to bob the way I want it to. I feel like the reason why it's not giving that is because I don't really like hair on my face. So I guess if this came forward a bit more, maybe, just maybe, the bob would actually stay, but because like I don't like hair on my face, I'm not a fan of it at all. So I guess when I finally spend more time on fixing it on, it's probably going to have that look. But I absolutely love the outcome, and we have come to the end of this video. I hope you found this installation video useful, probably funny, if you did, please make sure to share it with your friends. And of course, if you're new, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can become one of my babes on this channel. Give it a like and all that good stuff. Until I see you in my next video, my name remains Ibidunni Osho as always. Remember to be good to yourself and be kind to others. Bye.